This is Andy Perot for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by British middleweight champion Liam Williams. Liam, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Very good.
It's obviously good to hear. I saw you sneaking a few coffees and that. I just mentioned to you. How does it feel being out of camp and being able to have those little bits of, I don't really want to say privileges, but those little, I can't really think of a word that I'm looking for.
It's not even a privilege. Coffee's just a must during camp. Like, I just drink tons of stuff, gallons of the stuff.
Sneaking some sugars in there as well.
No, you're wrong there. I was actually putting sweeteners in. I'm not allowed sugar, so.
Well, obviously down here today for the Kid Galahad and Josh Warrington press conference ahead of their fight on Saturday night. You're in camp with Kid Galahad. How's he been looking?
He's looking. I was just saying to someone earlier. Actually, I watched him spar last week, or the week before, and like normally after a couple of rounds of sparring, I get bored of watching other people. So I normally just leave the gym, whatever. But I sat there through I think it was maybe 8 rounds, and I don't think I took my eyes off it. Like I was just loving it. Like honestly, when he's on form, he's an absolute pleasure to watch, and pick up so many things off him and try and put them into my sparring sessions. He is where he is for a reason. He's forced himself into the mandatory position to fight Josh Warrington. Again, who's another great fighter. But he's an outstanding fighter, and I honestly think he's going to bring it back on the weekend.
You mentioned you watched Kid Galahad spar. During the press conference, he said that sparring's harder than fighting. What was your take on that when he said it?
I suppose in a way that sparring you're trying to put things into practice and try and get things nailed down, and obviously by the time you come to fight like that should be already, the game plan should be pinned down. You should know exactly what you're doing. So in that sense, maybe yes, but fight night's the real deal in it, to be honest, and you don't get much. It doesn't get much harder than being under them bright lights with thousands of people watching you. The pressure's on, so you gotta make something happen. You gotta pull it out of the bag.
For a long time, since Josh won his world title, everybody's always mentioned his engine and his work rate. Is that what you guys have been preparing for? You've seen Kid Galahad preparing for, or I should say, that they just expect him to be walking forwards, looking to maybe turn the fight into a bit of a scrap and a bit of a war, or are you thinking something else could happen?
Listen, every time someone says to me, Josh Warrington has got this extreme engine, like he doesn't stop. Like I've been watching Barry in the gym. Barry trains like he'll fight Saturday night. He'll probably be back in the gym Sunday or Monday. He does not stop, and sometimes Dom has to say to him, "Look, like Barry, have a day off. You're pushing it too much." He just doesn't stop. He's fucking trains for hours. So the fitness thing is, it is what it is. People are going to say certain things and whatever, but it's not going to come down to fitness on either part. I don't think. I just think it's just going to be who gets the game plan and the tactics right, and puts them into play on Saturday night.
So talking about that game plan, how do you expect the fight to play out as the rounds progress?
To be honest, I haven't really thought too far into it, but overall, I just see Barry being the more slick and skillful fighter. Going to get made to work very, very hard, but I just think he's going to have the tools to outpoint him and land them clean shots. And Warrington's going to be in his face constantly, but it's all well and good throwing punches, but unless they land and making some kind of effect on someone, then you're just burning yourself out, and that's what I think is going to happen.
Now, obviously, I'm speaking to yourself. We're waiting for news as to when you'll next be out and who you'll be up against. What have you got for us in terms of an update?
I'm going to be fighting on the 13th of July at the O2 Arena in London. I think they've just confirmed the opponent today. Obviously, I don't really want to say that now. I'm going to leave that to Frank and Francis and whoever decides to announce. But it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be for another title. and everything's moving in the right direction, and I'm feeling good, I'm strong, healthy, and I just believe that this guy who they're saying I'm going to be fighting, I'm going to blast through him the same as every other opponent I've recently fought.
What are your plans in terms of, everybody's always talked about, are you going to stay at middleweight, are you going to move back down to light middle? Do you have any intentions to maybe win the British title outright?
I'd like to. When I was a little bit younger, then I never really cared about winning outright, but now I think as I get a bit older, I appreciate the value of it more, and I would like to, but I just don't think the right opponents are there to defend against, and I want to keep progressing now. I don't want to keep taking steps back just to win the British title outright. I'd like to, but I just don't think things are going to weigh up. Don't think that the things are going to weigh up. So I just want to keep pushing on. And my next fight's going to be at 160 middleweight again. But again, if I keep saying if the opportunity comes up at 154, I'll take it. I can make it, but I ain't going to be making it for no non-title fight, if you know what I mean.
Now, a couple more quick questions before I let you shoot off. Going into the heavyweight division, a couple of weeks ago, Anthony Joshua lost to Aj-Ruiz Jr. What was your thoughts on that shock defeat?
It was a bit of a shock, yeah. I thought Joshua was going to win. I didn't think he was going to have it easy because I've watched a little bit of Ruiz, and he may be a fat guy, but he can move, and he's got hands like lightning. Fair play to him. He's got some speed, and he's got some good hand speed. So everyone I spoke to about it was like, oh, this fat, I won't say the rest, this fat fucker, this fat, blah, 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 blah. He's going to get smashed to bits. Joshua's going to knock him out. And I kept saying to him, don't be surprised if he gives him a good fight. Like, I didn't expect him to win the way he did. But I always knew that he was going to be a lot better than what people thought. And I think he proved everybody wrong on the night. Joshua just looked, take nothing away from Ruiz, he beat Joshua fair and square, but Joshua just looked, he seemed to be gassed, like he was just too big, too muscle bound. I don't know what his weight was going into that fight in comparison with previous fights. Do you know the weight?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because going into that fight he looked big and he looked very muscle bound. So I don't know, I just don't think. I just think he was just too big, too stiff, and he didn't have it in the tank.
What did you make of the rumours that he might have suffered a panic attack just before the fight, or he got knocked out in sparring in the build-up to the bout?
Yeah, I heard a number of things, but listen, if I got knocked out cold a week, like in one of my last spars, or I had a panic attack in the changing room before the ring walk, the fight probably wouldn't go on. So whatever happened, whether he did or didn't, then that's his choice to, he's big enough and wise enough to know what's right and what's wrong, and he should have pulled out of the fight if that was the case.
And finally, Tyson Fury fights Tom Schwartz in the middle of the night. What are your thoughts on that bout, and how do you see that one going?
Tyson's going to win. I honestly believe he's the best. He's the best heavyweight on the planet, and I don't think anybody's going to stop him. I believe he would have schooled Joshua, and I believe if him and Deontay Wilder fight again, he'll beat him too. I thought he was unfortunate not to get the nod last time, even with the knockdowns. How did he even get up off the deck from the shots he got it with? But yeah, I definitely believe Tyson's going to win, and he's probably going to win comfortable, and he's going to look good doing so.
Will you start to watch your fight after Warrington-Galahad?
No, I doubt it. I'm in camp myself. It'll be just 4 weeks before myself, so I need to get my proper rest and recovery, so I'll probably just catch up on it in the morning, but I'll probably end up waking up a couple of times in the night and checking my phone, so I don't know, we'll see.
Well, Liam Williams, I've kept you for long enough, so as always, thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Yeah, thank you, always a pleasure, mate. Cheers.